We are living in somebody's dream. Reality is not what you believe it is. The fact that we have configured this box, square idea, we have trapped our mentals, our mentality inside of a box as if this is all that we can dream. As if our dreams and things that are higher, things that are esoteric and they can't conform and measure. Science thinks that we can measure everything. Science has this idea that as long as it has length, width, and height, we can measure it. We can quantify it and collect data and give you a logical and rational explanation for it all. As if we're going to eventually be able to measure the mind, be able to measure God, be able to measure our consciousness and rationalize things that cannot live within logic. There is a right hemisphere and a left hemisphere for a reason. There is a sun and a moon for a reason, a male and a female, an opposite to everything. Because we cannot quantify and logically explain away things that are higher than three-dimensional. We live in 3D. We live in a three-dimensional reality, which is somebody's dream. We literally are living in somebody's dream right now. We have believed, because what you believe, what you perceive as reality ends up materializing into a reality of what you perceive, because anything that you can think of, anything that you can dream, you can create. That we are creators. That's what's going on here. You are a creator. I'm a creator. We create reality. So right now, the collective belief is that this is reality. We're told what reality is. You're born and you come into this reality, this matrix, being taught by parents that were also taught what reality is. Because when you come into this reality, you're more organic and flowy. Like you're more what they call ADD. Like it's like you're born with it. You're born with the concept that there's multitude of things happening at once. There's not just one realm. There's not just one dimension that we exist in. 3D is literally length, width, and height, which make a box. That just is so we can put an idea into the material. Being able to say, I can measure something, I can create a length, one dimension, I can create one dimension. And through 2 dimensions, I have length and width. So now I have like a piece of paper. And then now, you make a box. You have now 3 dimensions, which is everything in this reality, everything in the matrix, everything that we believe to this point is 3-dimensional. And what science is discovering is that we have at least, because what they call it is 10-dimensional hyperspace, which is a fascinating title, right? I perceive this as, well, let's say we live in the 3D, right? In 3D, you can perceive measurement, you can perceive logic and rational thought and common sense. You can basically perceive physical reality, our physical bodies, biology, nature, right? We can physically see nature. We can smell nature. These are physical qualities to the dimension of 3D. In 10-dimensional hyperspace, let's say there's 10 dimensions, just to throw a number out there, which who knows if this could go on for infinity. But let's say we want to perceive outside of 3D. In my opinion, we live in this box, and in the box, there's 3D. I can physically explain away something. I can give you in a physical description and measurement and scientifically quantify, create data that here I am. Feel me? Like, you feel me? And let's say I want to perceive in 4D, because we have the ability to use multiple dimensions. So I often exist in 3D and 4D and 5D. Like it's a simultaneous thing. It's not like I only reside in one dimension or you only reside. We can go into multiple realities at different, energies through different expressions and emotions and thoughts and feelings. We can this is like it's all happening. It's all happening right now. So 4D, let's say I want to exist in 4D. In 4D, there's no time. Time, they say it's the dimension of time, but the way that I perceive it is when I meditate, when you meditate, when you are playing the guitar, when you are singing or existing in passion, partying, whatever. Let's say you are just having the time of your life, the time of your life. Well, when you're in the matrix, when you're in 3D reality, when you're down here in 3D, it's like, you're looking at the clock, you're following a schedule, it's order, it's structure, it's box, it's square, it's physical. And then you bump it up to 4D, and it's like, this is where if I'm painting or drawing or dancing or expressing or feeling, it's just like a flowy state. And I perceive that as 4D because 4D is, they say, time. I've learned time through other people, but from my personal experience, it's like 4D is the moment. 4D is the now, the current right now. In 3D, you perceive the future is tomorrow and the past is behind you and today is right now, as in the whole 24 hours is right now. That's not how time works. Time is now. The moment is where real time exists. So if you want to do anything, it matters right now. Like the action you take in this moment. That is where it's real. That's where you can feel and be in a state that flows. You can express and create. That's where you're the creator. That's where you're beyond the physical. You can't measure or quantify the now. It is, it's here. It is what it is. And in my opinion, that's where you can start to perceive, from 4 to 5D, which is like being able to connect the physical, the mental, and the non-material, the spiritual. Like we have a mind, we have a body, right? We have a spirit, a heart, an essence, an aura. We have all these aspects to ourselves. This physical body is what we know. That's all we know right now. The way they've taught us in his story, his dream, his message, we're just listening to somebody's masculine expression of a very prison-like reality. I don't even know why we're trapped here yet, but the mind is capable of perceiving multiple dimensions. And to perceive in 3D is a very limited experience. In the electromagnetic spectrum, it is, dude. So let's say this is what we have quantified. This is what we have measured so far. This measurement right here, right? But imagine it obviously much larger. And right here is the electromagnetic spectrum, okay? Which is visible light. So in this, we have this. And in this little bit, that's the visible light that we can perceive. So if we can only perceive light, it's like our eyes can perceive. We can't see in the dark, right? You can't turn the lights off and see. It's like our experience here is expressed through light, which is 15% of reality, because 85% of reality is dark matter, as we know in science. So if dark matter it's like, they don't know yet. It's like the opposite of light. It's like, it's very, very important because it constructs reality, but we don't know what it is, It's like they really are trying to figure that out right now. And in 3D, we are so attached. We're so physically attached to 3D that we have convinced ourselves that this is all we can do. We can only use the side of our brain that, which is totally not that side, it's this side. We can only use the side of our brain that can give you rational, logical explanations for everything. I can rationally explain away everything because freaking Albert Einstein told me, or whatever, like, which is a poor example because Albert Einstein said that the imagination is more important than knowledge. So he had a good understanding that, knowledge is powerful, but so is your imagination. And when we exist in the imagination, we don't exist in time. When the creators, when people who make all the art we enjoy in movies and things like that, the creators, the ones who make our music and things like that, when they make these things, we feel connected to this. Our heart, our essence, our aura, our passion connects somehow. There's no physical measurement to that. You can't physically measure why you love that song, why you love the smell, or why you can close your eyes and still see. How do you measure that? I can see when I close my eyes. How do you measure that? You cannot quantify that. That is irrational. That is very right-brained. Right? Yeah, right brain. So it's like we're getting to this point in our history, in our collective, in our consciousness, that we're starting to perceive that reality, this three-dimensional space, is one aspect to the story. So we're being told a lie. We're being taught a lie. We're being taught a vision. We're being shown a vision, and we're all falling for it because we have this hive mind mentality, where this mob mentality, where we congregate together and we all just kind of like accept. I don't know if we just don't want to hear the truth. I'm sorry. I don't know if we just naturally believe people are good and we just like go along with the story because they have our parents convinced. So our parents have taught us the lie. So, it's like hard for us to conceive that the lie could go that deep from even our parents. Like, why would our parents lie to us? It's our brains, our psyche. It's hard for us to dissect how terrible that is. And it's not even intentional. That's the thing. It's unconscious. Becoming consciously aware that we are unconscious beings is a very important key to this puzzle as well. When you wake up, when you have a spiritual awakening and experience where you realize, well, crap, what's been going on this whole time? I've been asleep to this knowledge of, this vast space, this vast existence, this reflection, this projection. Like, you're projecting this. Everything in your reality is a projection. Everything is nothing. We don't know anything. Nothing. You know nothing. I know nothing. That is how vast and beautiful this is. It's irrational. You're not going to be able to rationalize everything. And we have to get outside of the mind of such a boxed idea of common sense, in my opinion, which is ever changing, which is contradicting, because we're all evolving, we're all expanding, some at different speeds. So if you stay in a mentality for too long, if you stay in a space for too long, then you don't grow, you don't expand. That's what this reality is teaching us. Everything moves in cycles, everything grows, everything expands. So if we want to expand, if we want to grow our consciousness, our mind, we can't stay in an energy for too long. So contradicting yourself and expanding and evolving is a part of the process of learning and evolving and expressing and creating and flowing, right? Let's say you want to learn an instrument. It takes, you know what I'm saying? It takes that time and dedication and patience and perseverance. And then you create. And then you create more. And then you just keep creating. You never stop. You're always in a state of creating. And it's more so, are you conscious of what you're creating, or are you in a subconscious state of creating? Do you know who you are? Do you know what dimension you are in? Are you consciously aware of what you create in this reality? Can you say that you love your life? You're full. Is your cup full? Is your heart, is your mind, is your body, mind, and spirit full? Do you feed your spirit? Do you feed your mind? Do you understand how to raise your vibration? Why to raise your vibration? Why does it matter, right? All these questions, we have so many questions as a species. And our scientists and our philosophers and our theologians are all coming together to really find the truth to this all, right? I don't want to label myself, but I'm on that mission too. Like, I want to know what's going on. There's nothing in the 3D. There's nothing in this world that can offer me what I'm trying to unravel, what I'm trying to experience, what I want to see, what I want to feel, what I want to know, what I want to be, what I am. We are creators. You are a creator, and you have the ability to passionately express yourself outside of time. You can exist beyond 3 dimensions. A 3-dimensional reality, a 3-dimensional mindset. You're setting your mind. If you have your mind set to 3D, then you are most likely living out someone else's narrative or someone else's dream or someone else's vision. You can't perceive that you have a creator within you and that you can do something just as great as what you're experiencing because you're unconscious to that. You have to activate your conscious mind to realize you are a conscious being, first of all. You are not just a physical being, very important to know. You're multidimensional. You exist within multiple realities. And you can create through multiple spaces of time and space. Because you have a solar system that connects to another solar system, the solar system, right? That we project into this reality. This solar system that connects to us, it's working with us or against us, depending on if you're conscious or unconscious to it. This is where duality comes in. This is where the battle in your mind, this I want to fight myself mentality comes in. Like when you talk to yourself in your head, who are you talking to? Are you talking to yourself? Why are you answering? Like, why are you asking yourself questions? Why, where is all this coming from? There is a vast universe out there to explore, and there's a vast innerverse, we should call it, innerverse, because there's an internal reality that's so important to tap into. But if you're in 3D, it's really hard to even perceive that you have a universe within yourself. How do you find that within you? How do you live in a passionate state? How do you exist outside of time? Well, you have to go past 3D. You have to get into the 4th and the 5th and the higher dimensions to realize that 3D is a mindset that you have tuned into. You've literally turned the clock or the tune dial, whatever, to the station of somebody's dream, somebody's reality. And in order to get out of the matrix, you have to reset your programs. Your mind is programmed. You are literally in a program. You are take that literally. That is not a joke. We are being programmed to follow a narrative, to follow a mindset. And this isn't just the consensus or the idea. It's a projection. It's pretty simple. It's literally a projection. like a projection screen, like how you would project something onto the wall and then you would watch something play out. It's like we are projecting this dream because we all believe it. We're putting belief in it. We believe that this is just a physical world that scientists are measuring, and one day they're going to tell us what's going on, rather than us finding out for ourselves by creating our own reality and realizing the multiple dimensions playing out at one time. For example, in third world countries where they live, poor, right? They live in this like poorer state, very quote unquote, unquote. They live differently, right? Than us, than third world people or first world people. Yet, are we perceiving the same reality? Do they perceive reality as we do? Does a Christian perceive reality as a Muslim? Or does an elder person perceive reality like a child? How many realities actually exist? What is reality? Do you perceive reality as us all perceiving the same thing at the same time? Is this one dimension? Do we all exist together collectively? Like, yep, no. Like, there's so many different perceptions, which right now we have the majority of people believing in one point. And basically you're like this point in reality. And there's this huge projection that comes like a cone. Like, you know how like you're down here, you're this point, but there's this vast reality projection thing going on. Like, and it's like, if you just can perceive that you are like focused in on this, like someone else did this. This is not, you weren't born. Imagine if you were born into another reality. Like, let's say 50 years from now, right? We have so much more knowledge and we can like space travel and possibly teleport and use telekinesis and are psychic, right? Let's say we have like more abilities. When children are born into that reality, think of their version of perception versus a baby born into this reality, right? What separates the birth, the child's upbringing? What separates those two things? We can say time, but to me, time moves in a circle. Everything is centrifugal. Everything moves circular. It's like the snake biting off his own tail. It's like we start here and we do all this stuff and we expand and grow and, do all this stuff. And then we get back to this point and it's just like a reset or an upgrade or something. It's like we're upgrading each time, but we are going in some sort of a centrifugal, there's some centrifugal force here. Why do we have to think so linear? Why are we thinking in such a straight line? That's one dimension. One dimension is linear. Two dimensions is length and width. So what's separating time from this baby being born and this baby in the future being born? If we're not thinking linear, if you're thinking irrationally, if you're thinking outside of logic, what separates those two spaces? In my opinion, it is perception of reality. Really. It's like we're trapped in this physical body. This physical body is what's tethering us to this reality, but energy never dies. That you can quantify. We have figured that out scientifically. Energy never dies. So my energy, my essence, my aura, my soul, my spirit isn't going to die when this body goes. So this body is an experience I'm having in this reality. So when my DNA and, all my soul goes into the next experience, how is that what is that separated by? Why does it have to be time? Why do we have to, everything's cycling. There's no time. The sun and the moon and the energies, everything cycles. There is no time. It's not how it works. They just want us to believe that. They're teaching us linear, one-dimensional thinking so we can stay at the highest. They can trap us, which is 3D. We're trapped at 3D mentality. We're stuck here for some reason. We're tethered to the physical. And it's time to awaken to our greatness, to our abilities, to our potential. You're a creator. Create something. Like, go get creative, doodle, draw, be a kid, like do something a kid does. Go out in the dirt and like literally like put dirt on your skin and like touch a tree and talk to a tree. Trees have great wisdom. Like, you can actually talk to trees. This is not a joke. Like, you can literally have a conversation with a tree and they'll give you vast wisdom that you are like aching for. Your spirit, your soul is aching for. So I just wanted to talk about that. We're living in someone's dream. How interesting is that? That's so cool. Like, we are really in someone else's dream, and it's time to start making our own dreams and visions and realities so we can share them and express them and work together and like literally live in this more harmonious, like, you know, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but like, you know, like we need to be more flowy and fluid and like, woo, like I feel it, like my hands are now warming up. I can feel the energy, like deciding to manifest. It's becoming a sort of physical. Like this is real. This is, I don't even know, like chi, right? Chi energy is like, we can manifest. We have the ability to be great. We are great. We are not limited three-dimensional beings. And it's because you believe that you have that limitation. You choose that limitation. We have to break through the perceptions, the programs in our mind to get past that limited belief, because we're projecting this terrible reality right now as a collective, and we need to come together and make a better world, a better reality, a better projection. So then we can evolve and keep going. Like, this doesn't stop. The only reason we're here is because everyone is like, we're like holding ourselves back. We're like stuck in this limited reality, this limited space. And the more we accept the changes and go with the flow and grow and expand and contradict and be irrational and accept that you're always going to have to be able to reject things and be open-minded to new concepts, new things. We have to expand beyond that. That's how we grow. That's how we progress. That's how we head into the future, right? So we can time travel and do all types of cool things. So yeah, that's what I have. I hope that made some sense. It made perfect sense to me. But that's what I got. So thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And that's all. So